There's a religiosity in religion, which is simply of the world's organisation. Things have to be planned. Worship is decimated by procedure and planning and practice and preparation and deciding what we're going to do and then sticking to it earnestly. It's got nothing to do with worship, of course. Nothing at all. Worship is spontaneous, love, song, joy, exaltation, transcendence. It's not something that is booked, planned, organised, must proceed in a certain way. Formal. Oh my goodness. The last thing I want to do is listen to the choir. If I can't be the choir, well, choirs are a nightmare, of course. One's supposed to sing one part and one's supposed to sing another, and they don't really harmonise too well, and even if they did, so what? It's not for the love of God, it's for the entertainment of the congregation. What absolute worldly nonsense. I flee from such. I want to be with a group. I've been in a church where they'll worship for 3 hours non-stop. None of these preaching breaks. They didn't want the preaching, they just wanted to worship. Anywhere between 80 and 150 of them. Fantastic. Full-on Penties. I mean proper Pentecostal. I don't mean these denominational Pentecostals. I mean those that have escaped the incarceration of church and procedure and the way we do things and all that rubbish. It's like someone who reads a prayer. What's the matter with you? If you don't really want to ask God for this from your heart, don't. Don't prepare it and then say it. Can you imagine if we were going to meet this afternoon over a cup of tea and I've prepared exactly what I'm going to say to you? And when I sit down and you sit down, I take out my notebook, I take out my phone, and I read to you what I wish to say to you. At the end of which I get up and walk off. How would you feel? Now you know how God feels. It's not appropriate. It is not appropriate to read your prayer. If you can't pray, fine, let someone else do it. You're not supposed to be praying in public anyway. You're supposed to go into your closet, lock the door and talk to your Father in private. Oh, the word closet's got the wrong connotation, sorry now, but you're supposed to do it on your own. Yeah. And I mean, to give a sermon that you've written and then read it, so your eyes are more on the paper than on the congregation. Oh, you get nowhere like that. Nowhere at all. You're wasting your time. Give them the notes, issue it, and carry on. Let them have a chat over tea. Read the notes when they've got time, if they ever get round to it. You do just as much good, probably better. If you can only write, fine, write and publish. Don't pretend it's something you're going to speak and talk to people. And another fault of especially churches, talking of God in the third person all the time as if he's not present. If he is present, it's an absolute insult to him. Supposing I'm there and you talk about me, not to me, as if I weren't there. How will I feel? And now you know how God feels. Only he's far more sensitive than I am. How much rubbish do you sit through in a sermon, in a church? where they say things that you don't actually agree. And you're not in a one-to-one situation where it's reasonable to say, well, I'm not sure, that's my view. I think so-and-so. No, they will sit there like cardboard shapes. Better not to preach at all. Better to talk and discuss among a group that's small enough for each member of the group to know each other well enough to speak freely and openly and discuss what they really think in a safe situation, not where they're going to be hurled out for disagreeing with the doctrinal line. I mean, my goodness. You created a nightmare. Oh, that's better. I feel I've got that off my chest. What do you think? Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.